Greg, as a consultant working with you in the past, I've followed your long and successful career in retail home improvement, store, and corporate management. How did you come to find yourself in the real estate industry?
Well, Bert, it's great working with you again. You know, I really did enjoy the retail industry. It was a training and proving ground for me, and I was fortunate to have some great mentors who shaped and molded my personal work ethic, attention to detail, and I think more important, my love for serving people. I worked for a couple fine companies, and my particular area of expertise, especially at the end of that phase of my career, was studying, developing, and training on a national basis professional sales staffs in the big luxury home improvement projects like kitchens and bathrooms, the projects that can transform an average home into a quality home.
That gives you some real insight for your clients on home value and what brings quality feel to a home, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
You've been in it for a while. How do you like it so far?
Well, Bert, I have a passion now for the real estate business. It's given me the opportunity to create a successful business of my own, utilizing my talents and abilities. It's mentally challenging and monetarily rewarding. As a natural server, I take great delight in helping people accomplish their goals and dreams, and in the process have established many quality friendships and relationships.
Talking about relationships, tell me a little bit about how you operate and some of your business philosophies.
Well, I'm glad you asked that. You know, I felt the direction that I wanted to take my business from the very beginning was to build a business, a dynamic business, not just make a string of sales. I decided from the beginning that it was more important for me to look in each and every transaction with my leads, clients, past and active clients, with a long-term approach. It's also important to cultivate goodwill with other real estate agents and the vendor team that supports me, like my loan officer, title officer, and escrow officer, and use a long-term approach with them as well. An approach which invests in the relationship with each person involved. You see, anybody with a high degree of ambition and reasonable people skills can go out and hustle sale after sale. In fact, there's a lot of training involved in the real estate industry which exhorts agents to cold call, hustle expired listings, hustle for sale by owners, and work their business only by the numbers, all while buying expensive advertising for name recognition. When the hustle stops, however, so does the business and the income. Another agent type are the part-time hobbyists who make a couple sales each year to a few friends or acquaintances. My approach, investing in my customer base and providing extraordinary service while involved with each and every individual, gives my clients the trust and confidence not only to use me again, but to refer me to their friends, family, and associates. Repeat business and referrals, in my opinion, is the way to build a lasting and profitable business. Because I can spend the majority of my time servicing my client instead of the traditional prospecting methods like cold calling, hustling the for sale by owners, and other things that typically real estate agents do, I can keep my head down and really focus on the service. So there's a real benefit for people to refer me even while they're in the process.
Do all these transactions go smoothly? It sounds pretty much like they do.
I wish they did. As a matter of fact, many times, because we have different personalities involved, different agents, different, the personalities and buyers and sellers and so on and so forth, it gets kind of hair-raising sometimes, especially at the end.
I'm not sure, looking at your cover, that hair-raising is the proper term for you, Greg.
Well, come on, Bert. No,
Well, let's move on then. What other things do you do for your clients?
Well, I understand the value that each client represents to me in my business. I am always happy to help anyone in any way. Sometimes people need basic information, have a question, or have a networking need. I am very active in the marketplace and as such come into contact with many fine professionals and service providers. I'm always happy to answer questions or give advice within the scope of my abilities, and if I can't supply the service, then I can refer clients to great professionals or service providers who can. I also maintain a monthly informational newsletter and have an after-sales service plan for past clients for long after the time their sale closes.
Well, what about the people who may hear this tape who aren't referred to you but may like to establish a client relationship with you?
Boy, great question. You know, when people come to me by a non-referral, non-traditional source, I think that the trust issue is the most important issue to settle for a solid business relationship. I have found that the trust issue is centered around two major areas: character and competence. When people know a person is of high character and knows what they're doing, a trust relationship develops. Remember, too, that trust is a two-way street. You know, if I don't trust my client, frankly, I have a hard time really embracing a project. There's nothing worse for a realtor than not to know what a client's true motivation is. To help speed this process along, I help new clients come into contact with some of the people that I've served in the past, and I supply my new client with the names of some of my past clients, their phone numbers, and a list of 3 questions to ask them. Question 1, how was your experience with Greg during the transaction? Question 2, did he always put your interest first? And question 3, I'm about to become one of Greg's clients. What's the best single service he'll provide me? By providing a list of references and helping my client with these 3 direct and heart-of-the-matter questions, by way of endorsement, we can get off to a great start.
Well, you must have a great deal of confidence to supply potential clients with these kinds of questions. It really lays it on the line.
Yes, it does.
So, Greg, where does the majority of your business come from? Do you work with both buyers and sellers?
Yeah, Bert, I track my business, and about half my business comes from buyers, and the other half comes from sellers.
Well, do you have any preferences between buyers and sellers?
You know, as we talked about earlier, I have a long-term vision for my business. Buyers become sellers, and sellers become buyers, and I get a great deal of satisfaction from both. Now, when I'm working with sellers or listings, that allows me to let my creative marketing juices flow. You know, some agents just obtain the listing and let them sit until they sell or expire. The number grinders sometimes don't even care if their listing sells as long as they produce more leads that lead to more listings. My philosophy? Easy. I do everything in my power to expose the listing to attract its most likely buyer and sell it. I think I can produce a lot more leads through satisfied clients who will be willing to refer me to their friends, families, and associates.
How about buyer representation?
I think my greatest satisfaction from working with buyers is sharing with their range of emotions: excitement, anticipation, anxiety, and sometimes a heartache of losing a home they love as they move through the process. But when a buyer finds their home and we write up the offer and that offer is accepted, there is no finer feeling than to let them know that they will soon have their new home, except maybe the call to tell the new homeowner that it's closed and they own it, and then arranging to hand them their keys.
You know, that really almost makes you a part of the family, doesn't it?
You know, it really does, and it's indescribable, some of the relationships and friendships that develop along the way.
Well, on another subject, Greg, technology is playing a bigger part of our lives every day. I heard that the real estate internet sites are some of the most popular on the net. Well, in addition, you've got a website up. Tell me a little bit about that.
My website has information about me and posts my listings. I have sold several properties, some of which were quite high-end, in which my first interaction with clients were through the internet. Windermere and the Northwest Multiple Listing Service also maintain limited information consumer sites that people can access when they are house hunting. Now, when you sell a property, one of the most important things to know is how your property is marketed on the internet. The internet is soon going to become one of the most powerful marketing tools good agents use. Well, consider, in 1996 there were only 30 million internet users, and today there are over 120 million users, increasing at approximately 5 million a week. Already, 30% of all U.S. households are online. When we pause to consider that just a few years ago the client had access to properties only through an agent with the book, and now the properties can be seen literally all over the world through the internet, we can start to understand just how powerful this media really is. Now, these technologies are here to stay, and they are changing and improving the face of real estate daily. It's my belief that agents that don't invest in, learn, and embrace the new technologies will soon be leaving the real estate business because they'll be left behind. Already the trend is, nationwide, that more business is going to good agents and the weaker ones are struggling and leaving the business.
Well, it's nice to have someone with all the tools.
And that's my commitment to my clients.
Well, Greg, we've learned about you, some of your business philosophies and business standards. We've also heard how you work your business by referral and how relationships are at the core of your business philosophy. We've also heard how easily you work with both buyers and sellers, and we've heard your thoughts on capitalizing on the technology boom that is sweeping the real estate industry. Do you have any final comments for the people who may be listening to this tape as to why you made the tape and what they should do after listening to it if they're interested in buying or selling residential real estate?
You know, Bert, when you really think about it, buying a home, either for the first time, the empty nester who may be downsizing, or a move-up buyer, represents one of the biggest financial decisions that people make in the normal course of life. For that reason, being represented by a good agent, whether buying or selling, is extremely important. I wanted to make this tape to allow listeners to understand a little bit more about the real estate process and also some of my personal core business philosophies. These philosophies on service and investment are the result of many years of learning, working, and then teaching in service industries. I truly understand the importance of a real estate transaction and the impact that it has on not only the present, but the future of the individual or family that employs me to work for them. Greg Perry working for you is not just a motto, but the credo in the way that I embrace my role in helping people realize their home ownership dreams. If you are interested in buying or selling real estate, or have a friend or family member who does, just give me a call.